From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
I'm Nina Criscolo in for Kylie Conway with Wish TV News 8's Daily 8. We'll see a few more clouds later in the afternoon, but overall Monday will be another fabulous day. Look for lots of sunshine and highs to climb into the low to middle 70s. A few more clouds will fill the sky late Monday evening. It will be mild with lows in the middle 50s. Another great day on Tuesday with mostly sunny skies and highs climbing into the middle 70s. Winds stay a bit breezy out of the southwest and may gust up to 15 to 20 miles per hour at times. Rain chances return for the middle part of the work week. A few showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder will be possible Wednesday through Friday. They may linger into Saturday as well. Highs stay in the lower 70s for the middle of the week and then drop into the low to middle 60s for the end of the week. March Madness reaches its peak with the title game in downtown Indianapolis. A pair of number one seeds, Baylor and Gonzaga, will meet at Lucas Oil Stadium in the finale of the NCAA men's tournament. The teams have been in Indianapolis for more than 3 weeks now. The Final Four games featured a classic. With time running out, Gonzaga freshman Jalen Suggs took an inbounds pass and made history with a game-winning shot from way behind the three-point line. The team ended 11-seed UCLA's incredible run from the first four. Baylor had no such drama in its Final Four win. The Bears poured it on over Houston 78-59. The winning head coaches echoed each other that tonight's matchup should be great.
I think the way it turned out is probably the best scenario you could possibly imagine for college basketball in general, and even heck, sports, in America. And I think it's been great for both programs.
There's something about the first time you play and the excitement about that, trying to think how things will go and how they'll play out. I think this is perfect how it's worked out.
Tip-off is set for 9:20 tonight at Lucas Oil Stadium. Many IU fans are not so secretly cheering for Baylor. They don't want Gonzaga to match the feat of the 1976 Hoosier team. That was the last men's team to go undefeated on the way to the title. The Bulldog players insist the record is not the focus.
It's definitely been a great season, but it's been a lot, and I think we've done a good job handling it, but we're not focusing too much on what we have done. The mission's in front of us, and we got a lot we can work on and get better on.
That was Drew Timme from Gonzaga. Gonzaga is the fifth team since 1976 to go into the tournament undefeated. Only Indiana State made it to the title game, and that Larry Bird-led squad lost. Restaurants and businesses like ones along Mass Ave scored in their own way during the NCAA tournament. The month offered much-needed revenue. Some downtown business owners say they're expecting a big drop in customers after the tournament ends tonight. News 8's Demi Johnson went to the district tap where staff members are asking neighbors to help fill the void once the big game is over.
Cheering fans from across the country can still be found frequenting Indianapolis bars.
We definitely did record numbers, even compared to pre-COVID numbers.
General manager of the district tap downtown, Jeff Huron, says during the month of March, business tripled on a weekly basis.
From then until, through now, we've just been rocking, so I've seen a huge spike in business.
But after Monday, the teams and their fans will pack up and leave town.
We'll see a dip. It's not going to be an event anymore.
Huron is counting on his local customers and says the businesses have their back.
Downtown's coming back alive. The weather, like I said, is great. It's, we've cleaned it up a little bit. It's safer. A lot of people out and about. I think it's a good time to really kind of come back downtown and show Indy that downtown is a safe, fun place to be.
Fans from other cities sure seem to think so. Huron says lines spilled out onto the streets for several weeks in a row.
Yeah, we were on a good hour and a half wait. I hate to make our guests wait, but with limited capacity, once those seats fill up, people want to stay and watch the game.
Huron says he believes visitors enjoyed more than just the games and hopes it won't be too long before another big event comes to the city.
I hope we were a good example for the rest of the country and the sporting world that you can do these big events, you can open up, you can have guests in the stands and still, and still be safe. And I think we've done that.
In Indianapolis, I'm Demi Johnson for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Staff is thoroughly cleaning St. Elmo Steakhouse after multiple employees tested positive for COVID-19. The Marion County Health Department says the restaurant voluntarily and temporarily closed its doors over the weekend. According to the Indianapolis Business Journal, 9 employees tested positive. The health department says that it's working with the restaurant to contact trace for any other possible exposures. It's also providing guidance on sanitizing and safety measures for reopening. This morning, there is no word on when the restaurant will reopen. All students at Indianapolis Public Schools are back in the classroom for in-person learning today. Middle and high school students previously had a hybrid schedule. They will now be back to school full-time. Pre-K and elementary students are already participating in full-time in-person learning. All students and staff will still be required to wear masks and socially distance. Families who want their students to learn remotely can continue to do that. Those who choose to learn remotely will remain online for the rest of the school year. A renowned epidemiologist is issuing a warning about kids and COVID-19. He says the coronavirus variant first spotted in the UK can infect children more easily. Britt Conway breaks down the data.
Please understand this B117 variant is a brand new ballgame.
B117 is the COVID-19 variant first identified in the UK. And epidemiologist Michael Osterholm is making the rounds to talk about one of the challenges of this variant.
It infects kids very readily. Unlike the previous strains of the virus, we didn't see children under 8th grade get infected often, or they were not frequently very ill. They didn't transmit to the rest of the community.
But he says now that's changed, pointing to Minnesota, where more than 740 schools have had cases of the UK variant, and to Michigan, where more and more young people are being hospitalized as cases rise. It's something medical experts in other countries called attention to nearly 2 months ago, when the British Medical Journal said there was, quote, emerging evidence from Israel and Italy that more young children are being infected with new variants of COVID-19. And now that it's happening here, Osterholm is questioning his own recommendation to send kids back for in-person learning.
These kids now are really major challenges in terms of how they transmit.
Getting kids vaccinated is crucial, but
we're not going to have nearly enough in the next 6 to 8 weeks to get through this surge, and we're going to have to look at other avenues to do that, just as every other country in the world who's had a B117 surge has had to do.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Indianapolis International Airport has new hours for COVID-19 testing. The airport offers on-site testing every day except Wednesdays from 2 to 8 p.m. It's on the south side of the airport between baggage carousels 2 and 3. According to the CDC's new travel guidelines, testing is not necessary for fully vaccinated people traveling within the country. Testing is still recommended for those who are not fully vaccinated. The United Kingdom is set to roll out COVID-19 passports. The system starts with a test. Events with big crowds. Only those with a coronavirus status certification will be allowed to attend. The certifications go to people who have been vaccinated, have a recent negative test, or had the virus within the last 6 months. The Biden administration is working on plans for a system in America. Some governors say, no way. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order prohibiting vaccine passports. Mental health professionals are in high demand as the pandemic enters a second year. Americans are struggling with increased rates of depression, anxiety, and insomnia, and are looking for mental health support, and providers are working hard to keep up with the demand. The American Psychological Association says of those who treat anxiety disorders, nearly 3/4 reported an increase in demand for treatment. The Biden administration wants your help improving face masks. The Department of Health and Human Services has launched a new mask innovation challenge. If you want to participate, you can submit ideas online that you think would make face masks better. Your ideas just have to follow safety guidelines. Then the department will pick up to 10 winners for the first phase. The winners will split a $100,000 prize. For the second phase, you have to actually build a prototype. The department will pick 5 winners from that group. They will get to split $400,000. You have until April 21st to enter. It is week 2 in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin, and it could begin to focus more on the former Minneapolis police officer's training. The chief for Minneapolis police may be called to testify as early as today. He fired Chauvin and 3 other officers the day after George Floyd's death, later calling it murder. Last week, a duty sergeant and a lieutenant told the court they questioned why Chauvin restrained Floyd using his knee. Well, through their union, U.S. Capitol Police are calling on Congress to hire hundreds more officers. The request comes after a man rammed a barricade Friday, killing an officer. The union chief says the department is understaffed and could face more shortages as officers retire. The force is also reeling from other officer deaths, including Brian Sicknick, who was fatally injured in the Capitol riot. Since the insurrection, patrols have been added, and the Capitol is surrounded with fencing. One leading congressional Republican says the fencing should not be a long-term solution. Senator Roy Blunt says he supports temporary fencing, but not installed permanently. A fully paid-for plan. That's how Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is describing the American Jobs Plan. He says it would take 15 years to pay off the $2 trillion infrastructure proposal if it is funded by boosting the corporate tax rate.
So by year 16, you'd actually see this package working to reduce the deficit. And again, it's important to point out that the American people agree with this because we've seen corporations paying zero. We're just asking corporations to pay their fair share.
President Biden's plan has not garnered much Republican support. Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri believes it is not too late for the White House to change its approach.
My advice to the White House has been take that bipartisan win, do this in a more traditional infrastructure way, and then if you want to force the rest of the package on Republicans in the Congress and the country, you could certainly do that. You'd still have all the tools available for what is clearly going to turn out to be another purely partisan exercise.
Blunt says he is also asking the Biden administration to cut the price tag for the plan from $2 trillion to $615 billion. Starting today, you can trade in your car seat at Target and get a coupon for a new one. The annual event allows you to exchange an old seat, even if it is damaged or expired. The store will then give you a 20% off coupon to use on a new seat or another baby item. The event lasts through April 17th. Coupons can be used both online and in store through May 1st. You must be a part of Target's rewards program. In business news, Delta canceled 74 flights on Easter Sunday compared to 5 cancellations at American and 1 cancellation at United. It's expected that these operational issues will continue at least through today, so don't expect flights to be back to normal until tomorrow. Delta says a shortage of workers led to the cancellations. Details from more than 500 million Facebook users have been found available on a website for hackers. This information appears to be several years old, but it is another example of the vast amount of information collected by Facebook and other social media sites and the limits to how secure that information is. Facebook says this is old data that was previously reported in 2019 and that it has found and fixed the issue back in August of 2019. U.S. manufacturers have long grumbled about labor shortages, but the past year has proven particularly frustrating. As the pandemic pushed millions out of work, many factories were pushed into overdrive by surging demand for everything from pickup trucks to plastic bags. And yet high jobless rates have not translated into workers flocking to open positions on assembly lines. Factory employment is 4% below pre-pandemic levels, a deficit of 515,000 jobs. Meanwhile, the U.S. had a blowout jobs report on Friday. The U.S. added 916,000 jobs, more than just about anyone expected. Gains were strongest in leisure and hospitality, while construction soared by 110,000. And in sports, Jordan Spieth ended a slump that lasted nearly 4 years, closing with a 6-under 66 on Sunday to win the Valero Texas Open for his first victory since the 2017 British Open at Royal Birkdale. Now he heads into Augusta National as one of the favorites at the Masters. Spieth went 82 starts on the PGA Tour without a victory. He missed the Tour Championship the past 2 years and nearly fell out of the top 100 in the world at the start of this year. But the 27-year-old from Dallas has shown signs for weeks he was ready to turn it around. Spieth is typically a favorite at the Masters, where he was runner-up in his debut in 2014, won the next year, and then was runner-up again after losing a back nine lead in 2016. The Masters begins Thursday, back to its normal April weekend after the 2020 tournament was postponed until November, and Dustin Johnson took home the green jacket. Well, that's it for today. Once again, I'm Nina Criscolo in for Kylie Conway with News 8's Daily 8.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.